Hey, what's up? You got one job. That sums up the live stream. This is Soncerae here. I appreciate you listening to me here, as well as following me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever it is that you follow. And make sure you just find me wherever. And I appreciate you sharing all of my videos everywhere, all over the place. Thank you so much. So, the aftermath of all of this bullshit with Derrick Jaxn. Listen, I did my one little live stream about him in addition to the videos I did about him years ago. Like, I think I did about 3 or 4 videos about him years ago when I first interacted with him, and it wasn't a very pleasant experience. And I did a video the other day, a live stream the other day after Tasha K's first live stream about him with his first mistress, side chick. And now I'm about to do my afterthoughts in relation to the second video that Tasha K did last night, talking to another side chick that he was interacting with and was with her for about 6 months. And she is the main reason why Derrick Jaxn separated from his wife to begin with, according to her. All right. So I have afterthoughts about that. Definitely do. Um, First of all, let me just say this before I proceed. Right now on TikTok, I have a lot of viral videos. I think I have about 8 viral videos on TikTok. And a lot of times I'm talking about hypergamy and shit like that and why women shouldn't be married. And honestly, this specific experience with Derrick Jaxn is a prime example of why I tell women not to be so pressed to be married, because inside of marriage is a lot of things that wives are not telling you. You are only seeing what a lot of wives want you to see because they're trying to break fly and make it seem like marriage is like the grade A, only one in game type of thing you should be trying to have. Like being independent or single as you get older is like one of the worst things because they feel like you couldn't possibly be happy over 30 or happy over 40 and lonely. You're just going to be in the house with a whole bunch of fucking cats and shit. That's, of course, what men want you to think. But meanwhile, while a lot of these men are married, you are at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of kids. Meanwhile, they're out there doing absolutely whatever the fuck they want to do. They're going to work every day, just tossing you some bread and then going around sleeping with a whole bunch of other women. That is what majority of husbands are doing right now. Most men are not marriage material to begin with. So it's interesting to me that there are so many self-help books out there that are designed for women to try to figure out who they need to be in order to be classified as some man's wife. Meanwhile, it isn't even half the amount of literature needed on the market for men to be the best versions of themselves that they can be for women. And we all know this, that men are the ones that are having difficult times with communication, being honest, showing their emotions, because these aren't things that men are taught. Women are groomed from when we are young to be wives and damn girlfriends, but men are not taught this shit often. Now, it's some good men out there and there's some good husbands, but like I've said plenty of times, when I give 2 examples. Number one, when I'm talking about alpha males and beta males, I'm always talking about how it's one alpha male for like every 60 beta males that's inside of the pack. It's only one leader. And then when I'm talking about the tree, the value tree, where you got the people of value at the top of the tree and other people are low hanging fruit or fruit that's on the ground, so they're easier to get. Okay. So when we're talking about husbands and good men, it's a lot of them out there, but at the same time, it's difficult to find them. It's harder to get them. All right. Even though it's a lot of them, it still seems limited in comparison to how many ain't shit pieces of trash walking around. All right. So I can't believe I'm doing this live stream so early, by the way. I usually do my live streams at about 3 or maybe 9. This is the earliest I've done a live stream, but I got to get this out the way and I got to make sure I do a live stream every single day. And I'm trying to get better with this. So anyway, this fucking thing that people are doing on TikTok, as far as I go, I'm being called Mrs. Kevin Samuels over there. And that shit is annoying the absolute fuck out of me, because just because I'm not big on the hypergamy shit and I'm telling women to go out there and get their own money, and I'm talking about high value women, and I'm only using the term high value women because so many women are attracted to that term in itself. So it brings more women that need to be watching my content to come to it. So I use high value woman as a hashtag, or I talk about it so women can relate. I might find another term to use to coin women who are wealthy, modern, and out here dating, regardless to age, because a lot of women are business owners right now and a lot of us are getting our bread up. So I'm trying to figure out another term to use to call women that. But a lot of times when I get on TikTok and I start talking about women and how we should reject and cancel hypergamy, I use the term high value woman, a wealthy woman, a quality woman, a modern woman, to describe women that are like me, that want a luxury lifestyle, or live a luxury lifestyle, travel, have their own money, buy what they want, do what they want. I'm that type of woman, but I don't know what to classify that shit. Okay. I don't know what to call it. And that's one thing that I really got to work on. I got to find something to call women who are like that, because just how I call alpha men good men, and beta males bad men, I really just have to find something, because I don't want to keep using this high value woman shit. I'm sick of hearing that term. Like, I'm so disgusted with hearing that shit. But because I talk about women rejecting the concept of hypergamy often on TikTok, a lot of people are starting to call me Mrs. Kevin Samuels over there, and that shit is getting on my last fucking nerves. Like the TikTok that I put up just today, just this morning, I was talking about how um, the reason why I don't support hypergamy is because of the term, the phrase I always use, which is, if you give men the power to feed you, you will also give men the power to starve you. And so I did a TikTok like that inside of the comment section. Oh, so you Mrs. Kevin Samuels now. I'm like, yeah, listen, y'all been calling me that shit for the past week. I want that to stop being something that's being said. Like, because I don't feel like in any form or fashion I'm anything like this dude, regardless to me telling women stop being pressed to be married simply because you feel like the term wife is going to bring you worth. Women are only trying to get married. They're only pressed to be married because they feel like being somebody's wife means they're worth something. Too many people have made women feel like not being married means they ain't worth shit, or being single and alone, or being able to independently take care of themselves must be the work of the goddamn devil. Or really, it's not. Like, it's plenty of women in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s who are wealthy, who are living a good life, happy out here dating. People still date. Like, a lot of women, I saw a TikTok, because I'm on there often. I saw a TikTok and she was asking, no, it wasn't even TikTok. It was a Facebook group I'm in with goddesses in it. I'm in a goddess group, and one of the women was in there, and she was like, they always try to make it seem like once you get a certain age, you're going to just sit there and collect a whole bunch of cats. I mean, I want to hear from women who are over 40. I want you to tell us what kind of lifestyle you're having. And I said, listen, bitch, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. The end. The same amount of men that tried to holler at me in my 20s is the same amount of men that's trying to holler at me in my 40s. Men was giving me money then, men giving me money now. It's no different. You know what I'm saying? It's people of all ages all over the place. And honestly, because of the social media area, the social media era, that shit is divorcing a lot of people. A lot of people are just walking around single and interacting with each other without getting in committed relationships and marriages. More people are starting to feel comfortable with the concept of polyamory. Now, this gets dangerous because you still have to worry about sex, STDs, having sex with people with STDs, and creating babies that you don't even want. So that's a dangerous lifestyle to have. But if everybody doing it, I'm sure that everybody is going to put a lot of safety measures in place in order for this to be a more acceptable type of lifestyle for people to have. People are starting to opt out of marriage and committed relationships. People divorcing left and right. People are breaking up left and right. Now you got people who are in healthy long-term relationships, and there's nothing wrong with you being penguins. If you want to be a penguin, knock it out. But make sure you can find somebody that's going to be a penguin with you, because there's a lot of people that you think are monogamous. They come into a situation with you. You're a monogamous person. they really polyamorous, and they're not saying that to you. So they just end up cheating on you. And a lot of people don't even realize that they are a polyamorous person. They think they monogamous and just want a relationship. And this brings me back to Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn is a polyamorous man. This man is poly. But for some reason, he keeps trying to force himself to be a monogamous man because society has made it seem like monogamy is the only way to be happy when you're dealing with other people, or the only way to be drama free. When really, the drama freest way you can be is being honest with people. And poly people are extremely honest. They say, I want to be with a shit ton of people. I just want to be honest about it, and I don't want to hurt anybody in the process. That's the most drama-free situation that you can be in, where you telling somebody, listen, this is what I want to do. When you pretend that you're monogamous and you go out here and your behavior is of a polyamorous person and you trying to hide it, you just as bad as somebody that is homosexual, that is in a relationship with someone of the opposite sex and using that person as a beard. It's the same goddamn thing. And a lot of people don't think of it that way. No, you're manipulating the same. You're lying the same. You're being selfish the same. It's just the same. It's like a transgender person coming to a person that is, just cis, just regular. They might have a regular old penis. Might been born male. They might even be heterosexual, flat out. You walk up to them, you trans, you pretend like you're a woman. You don't tell them that you're trans, and then they find out and they're upset. It's the same thing. So when you walking into these monogamous relationships, when you know goddamn well you want to be with a whole bunch of people, but you lie about it, you just as bad as the stuff that you turn your nose up at. And to me, that's what Derrick Jaxn is. Now, I found out more information about Derrick Jaxn, of course, from Tasha K. Lord, where it's been, I think he's cheated on his wife out of the 4 years that they were married. And they're still married. He's cheated on his wife so much with so many different women. And he was also cheating on her before they even got married, because they've known each other for about 14 years and they went to college together. All right. Now, what's interesting to me is that a lot of people are coming in my comment section, especially on Facebook. One guy came into my Facebook comment section and said that I don't think she should forgive him. I don't think that she should forgive him. He's a habitual liar. Why should she forgive him? I said to him, honey, you have to understand something. This man was cheating on her when they was in high school. He was a habitual liar then. He was lying to her then. She still married him. Out of all of those years he was with her, he cheated on her. He lied to her. He manipulated her. All those years they was together before they got married. They had to be together at least 10 years. He cheated on her then. He lied to her then. And she still married him. So what makes you think that she don't know this man still a cheater, still a liar? He ain't changed. He ain't no different. The only way this man is going to stop doing what he's doing is when he isn't physically able to anymore. He's going to stop being there when it's time to, when his body tells him to stop. Like his penis ain't working right. He not looking as good. He gained weight. He old. And I mean old like 50. She knows what kind of man she dealing with. She knew he was like this before she married him, and she married him anyway. She's trying to love this man unconditionally. So when I said she's going to forgive him, or she should forgive him, because we don't know the dynamics of their relationship. We don't know how deep their marriage is. We don't know the situation. It's fucked up. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he not a shit stain. I'm not sitting here, defending Derrick Jaxn because I don't know, for whatever reason people think. I just think that we all human beings, and all of us been in a situation where we've been cheated on, lied to, been the person that cheated with the person that they was cheated on. You know what I'm saying? We all done this. We all been at least one person in that little triangle. And a lot of people think so holier than thou to me, as if they don't have a shit ton of behavior that a lot of other people could turn their nose up at. Like, we all doing shit, and it's always going to be somebody that could look over at what you're doing and be like, that's terrible. Why would you do that? And you could have your reason behind justifying it all day long, and people will still look at you like that shit don't sound right. To me, Derrick Jaxn's wife knows exactly what kind of man she's dealing with. She's putting herself through this shit. She could listen to her own husband's advice and do better, but she's not choosing that. She's choosing him. Why is that? Consistently choosing him too. She knows how he is. She knows who he is. Marriage is not how it used to be. You're right, Mr. Ford. Marriage is not how it used to be, to some degree, because when people used to get married, yeah, husbands were still cheating and wives were still staying with their husbands, and they was hiding the fact that their husbands were cheating. Husbands been having side babies and side relationships and side families since as far back as we can remember. But people weren't so vocal about it the way that they are now. Side chicks weren't so anxious to say that that's what they were. You know what I mean? Like, now a side chick will come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, that's what I did. Men having more than one family at one time is something that's been going on. It happened to my grandmother. My grandmother was married, had 2 kids with a man, thinking that he was going out of town for the military. Well, he would leave and go out of town and leave her with their 2 kids. They married with 2 kids. He would go be with his other family. He had a whole nother family. He was married to a whole nother woman. But see, these are the things that our grandparents are not telling us. It got people thinking that marriage was much better than it is now. Now it's just more light is brought to the institution of marriage. People aren't getting the bare minimum. The bare minimum inside of a relationship or marriage is at least don't sleep with somebody else. Show me some respect and be honest. Those are the 3 basic bare minimums you can give somebody when you're in a relationship with them. And a lot of people aren't doing that. So marriage is what it used to be. It's just now people don't stay with each other out of obligation. And honestly, I feel like that's fair. I think it should be something to where you have to renew your license. Like, for instance, if you get a business licensing in the state of Georgia, I used to have a business license in the state of Georgia. I now live in California, so I have to get a new business license. Or after a couple of years, sometimes a license expires, so you have to get another one, like your driver's license. You know how you have to renew your license? You should have to do that with a marriage license. You should be in a position to where you renegotiate a marriage, because honestly, most of the time when you're married to someone out of obligation, it has something to do with legal, business, money, nothing to do with love. Because honestly, if it was just about love and that's it, you wouldn't need to get a license to do it. You could just, you know, make a promise in front of a whole bunch of people at church, because it got something to do with God and love, not money, not business, God and love. So marriage is the same way it used to be. It's just now people don't feel so obligated to be stuck to that type of business arrangement. Marriage is a business, and a lot of people don't think of it that way because of the other stuff that's associated with marriage. Like, if you come into a situation, a married couple, and it has a lot to do with God, it's a lot more guidelines and obligations that you want to stick to as a human being that has something to do with your religion. And that's what Derrick Jaxn was trying to, say in his live stream yesterday as well. He was just talking about how he had turned his life over to Christ more than he used to. And now he's living his life in a different way than he was before. Like, all of the other times he used to cheat on his wife or what he was doing, he never fully cut it off. And now he's trying to take it serious, which I can respect him somewhat keeping it a buck. But he still lied about his experience with this woman, because he was basically saying that he never slept with this woman. And I'm thinking to myself, if you never slept with this woman, how the fuck she know where you live at? How she got pictures of herself in your bedroom? How does she have pictures of herself naked in your bedroom? I mean, think about all of the receipts that was up there. It's like, there's no way in fucking hell that you didn't sleep with this woman. With her being, what was she been doing in your new house? This is a new house he got with his wife. So it's just like, What I can't appreciate about what Derrick Jaxn did yesterday is he still ain't keeping it up. He still lied. He still said, "Hey, I didn't sleep with this woman." I can respect some of the stuff he said, but not that. Not that. um, BB. So I don't know what the fuck you mean by what you're saying so this title, so much for high value single mother. No, there's no. I wasn't saying high value single mother anyway. My token phrase for single mothers was high end single mother, not high value single mother. High end single mother. When I use the term high end single mother, I'm talking about the difference between high end single mothers and baby mamas. Okay. The reason why I named this video what I did has to do with people continuously calling me Mrs. Kevin Samuels because I keep telling women to stop being so pressed to be married. That's the only time that people call me that. They call me that when I tell women that it's okay for them to not want to chase after men and stop being so pressed, thinking being with a man is what brings you value. So women keep calling me, or men too, keep calling me Mrs. Kevin Samuels and shit. They keep saying I'm the rebuttal to Kevin Samuels, and they're only doing it on TikTok. I think I seen maybe 2 people call me Mrs. Kevin Samuels over here. But on TikTok, they call me that shit a lot. And I'm like, you guys have got to stop that. And they've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. It just started. It ain't been a long thing. So I hope eventually they stop. And I think the way to get them to stop is if I stop using the term high value woman. I think that's all I got to do, really. But anyway, um, yeah. She could listen to his advice and do better. Some things are easier said than done. Exactly. That's what I was saying, pro woman. What I was saying yesterday was if Derrick Jaxn gives good advice, that advice still applies. When he's, chastising other men for cheating on their wives, it's still what he's saying applies. Whether he applies it to your life, his own life or not, is neither here nor there. The advice is still good, regardless to how hypocritical he is, because he's still saying a lot of the right stuff. I mean, it sounds cookie cut as fuck to me, but it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He's not saying something that's wrong. It's what he's doing that's wrong in his own personal life, Action Jaxn is just 30. Wow. Didn't know he was that young. I knew he'd spend this in his favor. This won't hurt his brand much. I knew it wasn't gonna hurt his brand. Woman and his wife will stay deluded. Yeah, women are going to continue to invest in his books and stuff. I seen women saying it. They was in his chat saying, "I'm still going to buy your book." You know what I'm saying? And I said I was going to buy his book. So I'm not concerned about what he's doing with his personal life because I already picked up on what kind of man he was in his personal life. But his personal life is not my motherfucking business. What's my business is what he's regurgitating and what he's saying and teaching women. And I said before, you can't take this man literal to a point where you're applying everything that he's saying to your life and you're sleeping, shitting, breathing Derrick Jaxn. But this man definitely makes a lot of valid points and he improves the lives of a lot of women. And you got to give him a hand clap for that because a lot of the stuff that he says that women are applying to their lives is working. It's not like it's not working. The shit's working. Again, his wife should have just applied his own advice to her own life and she would be in a better situation than she in right now. Because this shit is starting to look real shitty. You know what I'm saying? Real fucked up. Okay. Um, so why call him Mrs.? He's a Mr. Why call BB, you about to get blocked because I see you coming in here on some fuck shit. Let me play this one more time, just in case. High-end single mother, lower energy baby mama is just 2 terms I use to describe 2 different types of women. People on TikTok are calling me Mrs. Kevin Samuels because of the stuff that I say when I'm telling women not to be so pressed to be married and stop using men for money because the only reason why they want these men to begin with is so they can feel valuable themselves. They're worth something long before they get married. They're worth something. And we have too much opportunity as women to sit here and have our hand out at men asking them to fund a lifestyle that we want to live that we can create for ourselves because we have the opportunity to be able to build wealth ourselves. Okay. Now, just as how I have the same energy where I can make 300 videos about Kevin Samuels, I'm going to make 300 videos about Derrick Jaxn and this specific situation until the conversation of Derrick Jaxn dies down. If you have an issue with me speaking about Kevin Samuels or Derrick Jaxn, then you can excuse your ass up on out of here. How about that, John? You want to do that? You could do me that fucking favor. Okay? You can just mosey your ass up on out of here. Right? You got an issue with it. You know what I mean? Everybody else is talking about it. I'm going to give my opinion about it because, that's what commentary is all about, talking about the shit you think. But I do want to say I don't think that I'm nothing like Kevin Samuels, and I would like for people to not call me that. That's the reason why I made this titled this video that Mrs. Kevin Samuels and Derrick Action Pack Samuels. Jaxn. So anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, his wife could have just this situation won't hurt his brand at all because women are going to listen to what he has to say and still apply it to their life. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. Yeah, he a habitual liar. Yeah, he's a cheater. Yeah, he's the very embodiment of what he tells women to avoid. But like I told women the other day in my live stream, Derrick Jaxn said he was a player. If you've been listening to Derrick Jaxn from the beginning, he said from the beginning that that's what he was. And he used to be, he said he was a former player and he was going to teach women how not to be like that. Not to be with men like him. And he going to put women up on game. He said it. Now, I don't know how often he says it in his new videos, but I remember he used to say it before. Now, we have to remember this man is still young. Like he was saying, the guy who said he was 30? Where he at? Where to the comment that said he 30? He was young. Somewhere in here, somebody said that Kevin Samuels was young. Derrick Jaxn is only 30 and he's young. And you have to understand this man is still becoming the type of man. He still has lessons he has to learn. He may be wise at his young age, but he still has a lot of stuff that he has to learn himself. He's also growing at the same time. So everyone has different levels of growth. And when we're giving advice to other people, sometimes it's difficult for us to follow our own advice. You know how powerful it is when people say, hey, practice what you preach, be the type of person that you are encouraging other people to be. That sounds good in theory. It does. In a perfect world, everybody doing that. But we all know damn well that we're looking around in this world and we're seeing a lot of people with a fucking facade. Everybody is pretending to be something that they're not and looking at other people and the way that other people are behaving and judging other people for behaving in manners they themselves participate in. Okay? All right. Yeah, this is a teachable moment for this is a teachable moment for both Derrick Jaxn and Kevin Samuels, and let me explain to you why. Because both men and women have been comparing these two men, especially people on YouTube, and both of these men have an equal amount of flaws. Okay, and if Derrick Jaxn is not careful, he gonna end up like Kevin Samuels with two goddamn ex-wives. Now, one thing I can say about Derrick Jaxn right now is he's trying to improve. Now, he may have lied his ass off yesterday and say he ain't sleep with that last side chick, okay? But he definitely is trying to improve. And I honestly feel like even though this is all his business, I don't think he ever would have told anybody about his wife. I don't think he would have, brought her up in general because he's always tried to keep her away from this lifestyle. A lot of men feel like they're protecting their wives and their kids from a specific type of lifestyle that they prefer to have. Honestly, I feel like men, if you want very attractive women or you want women that you have sexual chemistry that can have sex with you, right? Because he was telling his side chicks that his wife wasn't good in bed. This is what he was telling these chicks. So I don't know if this is true or not, but I do feel like a lot of men make that mistake of marrying women that they aren't sexually attracted to. Okay, they marry these women for 1,000 other reasons because they safe, because they feel like she not going to be able to get with any other type of man. They try to get women who aren't as beautiful, who aren't as into certain types of lifestyles because these women will never be in the arms of another man. A lot of men are insecure in that way. They don't want their women dressed in a certain way or looking a certain way because of the fear that their woman is going to leave them for another man. All right. So to me, I feel like as a man, you should be trying to date the type of woman that you want to date. Because as far as I see, Derrick Jaxn has a pattern. The type of women that he's interested in, the type of women that he's sexually attracted to, they seemingly look alike. Even if you add me to the equation and the little interaction that he and I had with each other, if you compare how all of these women look, we all kind of look similar. So he has a type. Now, as far as his wife goes, when I seen how she looked out and I compared her to the side chicks, he be sleeping with some baddies, be. His baddies be they be bad as fuck. Wife is just like just a mediocre chick that doesn't look right. To me, she doesn't look right often. Now, it almost looks like she doesn't know any better. You know, she's not that big into fashion. It's not that serious to her. She doesn't have this huge social media following. She just doesn't match his level. You understand what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I don't know her personally. She could be a very nice woman as far as her personality. She could be smart. She could be wealthy. She can have all these amazing things. But with men are visual creatures. Men are visual and sexual. You can't take away visual and sexual from your wife and just get a woman who's neither one of those and marry her and think you're about to have a healthy life. He has a sex drive. A lot of men have a sex drive. Get women that you can sleep with, honestly. Girl, don't explain anymore. They should understand they grown and they can catch the replay. I know. Thank you, Mr. Ford. I'm glad you're honest. I know. I'm trying to repeat shit so people won't, whatever. Anyway, Trade D. Black women got to listen to both of them either way. Black women are fickle, so might as well don't pander. Okay, I mean, honestly, I feel like I said before about other men who have given women relationship advice. As a man, when you're giving relationship advice, you still have to respect a woman's womanhood and emotions. You can't be recklessly, like vocally abusing them. You know what I mean? Like you can't be verbally abusive or disrespecting them, calling them out their names, saying little shit that you think for the sake of keeping it real, let me insult them right quick. No, that's not the way that you're supposed to handle stuff, especially when somebody is depressed already. If they're already insecure and weak, you saying something more negative to them is not going to help them improve as a person. If anything, is going to make them worse. Okay. Derrick Jaxn is an example of how we love to see the hero fall. Exactly. I personally think men love to see men like him fall. I think a lot of men knew what was up with him. A lot of men didn't like him because they knew what was up with him and was a little jealous that he was getting away with it. Because a lot of men get away with fuck shit. Y'all get away with more shit than women could ever get away with. Y'all get away with murder, I swear to God, because women are so pressed to be with you. They feel like you the prize. They feel like you the one, man. Women going out their way to get to just to feel worthy because women don't feel worthy. Sorry, air conditioner blowing like a mother. They don't feel worthy. So they just being with people just to be with them, be stuck with them, married to them, while their husband going around disrespecting the whole marriage, disrespecting them, beating them, cheating, lying, all types of shit, and they stay with them anyway. But I think a lot of men, they didn't look at Derrick Jaxn as a hero. More women looked at him as that way. But a lot of men didn't like this nigga because they knew exactly what he was doing. But what could you be mad? Because you see your homies doing that shit and you don't get that upset. Like men see they homeboys doing the very thing that Derrick Jaxn is doing, and none of y'all check them niggas. And I remember before saying that a lot of self-proclaimed black men needed to stop giving niggas like him social acceptance. Some of y'all homeboys, this nigga, but y'all don't say nothing. Y'all don't say nothing about that. Okay, Uranus. That's what Derrick Action Pack Jackson is. What Tasha K was calling. All right, Trey D. Nothing ain't wrong with ex-wives. Nothing at all. Kevin Samuels over 50, so it is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. Nobody listen to me. The end game is supposed to be marriage. One marriage. Supposedly, if part of being successful is you being in one marriage and staying in one marriage. I noticed the problem with Kevin Samuels is he can't keep a marriage. He could give advice and he could tell y'all what it is that he, thinks should happen inside of a relationship, just like everybody else. But that man is just as flawed as Derrick Jaxn is. And if Derrick Jaxn is not careful, he's going to be like Kevin Samuels with two failed marriages and a strange relationship with his children. See, my biggest issue with Kevin Samuels isn't what he's telling y'all. It's the fact that he's depicting himself as like this valuable man, but he doesn't hold that same standard that he holds to women to himself. Because if he held that same standard that he holds to women to himself, he wouldn't be as valuable. If a woman can't be over 30, if a woman can't be over a size 5, if a woman can't have fatherless children, then then neither can a man. And then don't sit here and say, well, it's the exception if she's divorced. Well, it's only an exception because this woman is divorced with children, because Kevin is divorced with children. So that's why it becomes acceptable, because to him that's acceptable. So a lot of you are following behind his own like shortcomings and personal desires and making them your own instead of thinking independently. My biggest thing with him is that he's unable to tap into the minds of these dusty beta males. These dusty beta males aren't doing what they need to do to improve, no matter how much he's saying this is what you need to do. So as a teacher or as a leader or alpha male he supposedly is, then he needs to create more lessons and more talking points and more narratives to help these dusty beta males to actually do what they need to do to improve first before they start looking at other women, judging other women. That's all, man. You think you look like the chicks he's attracted to. I said all of us look similar. His wife, he was attracted to me. We're talking about Derrick Jaxn. He was attracted to me. I'm not pulling this out my ass. He was attracted to me. So what I'm saying is physically he has a type. And if you compare his wife, me, and his other little baddies, you know what I mean? We all have a similar look to us. Okay, whether it's the big forehead, the big lips, the big breasts, I have that. So he has a type. I'm not saying, I'm as bad as that one chick he with, that one chick that he was with. Lady, she's a cutie. You know what I mean? On a scale of 1 to 10, she got me by like 3 steps. She could. Um, Men have been fed a diet of how we ain't shit since boyhood. I believe you. Jaxn in his speech touched a nerve for men. Jaxn was seen as throwing other men under the bus. The celebration seems to be a fu to Derrick Jaxn. I agree. I agree with what you're saying, fragments of memory. I agree with that because, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, I said this. I said, as children, women, we are taught to become wives and girlfriends. We are taught that very little. Y'all, on the other hand, have not been taught how to be in relationships. Most of y'all have not been taught how to be boyfriends and husbands. There are a shit ton of self-help material for women who want to be great wives or great girlfriends for men, but there isn't a lot of material out there for men who want to be good husbands and good boyfriends. For the most part, y'all told y'all ain't shit. So half of y'all just like, well, I ain't shit anyway, so I'm just going to do the fuck whatever. You know what I mean? That's a lot of y'all. So I agree with what you're saying. Get women you can sleep with, easier said than done. Um, no, let me tell you something about vagina. Vagina is easy to get. It's easy to get. It's plenty of women out there who will comfortably sleep with you without you having to take them on a date. I mean, think about the mistress that Tasha K was talking to yesterday. She was like, "Oh, me and Derrick were sleeping together. He ain't really give me no money. He ain't take me nowhere. We just had a casual thing. I ain't really want more than him because I was just trying to get over my last relationship." She kept it a buck. She wasn't asking Derrick Jaxn to do anything but sleep with her. He was good in bed. That's all she wanted. I told y'all before, it's women out there that's in that stage of life. You shouldn't judge them because that's just where they stand. Some women can't give you nothing other than that because of where they are in that stage of life. Even with Derrick, that's just the stage of life he's in right now. I'm not saying the man can't ever improve. I'm just saying it's going to take a while. He been cheating on his wife. I don't know why it hasn't occurred to him that maybe she's just not somebody he's supposed to be with. Think about Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey been married just as many times as Kevin Samuels, but for some reason, the reason why y'all like Kevin Samuels more than you like Steve Harvey is because Kevin Samuels gives relationship advice to men. Steve Harvey gives relationship advice to women. So it seems like he's pandering to women. Well, if Steve Harvey is pandering to women, then Kevin Samuels is pandering to men. You understand? Because Kevin Samuels was giving y'all advice before he started giving it to women. So my thing is, all of these men, you need to be given a side eye to some degree when they have all of these broken marriages and broken, failed relationships. There are other men out there that have, very healthy relationships that you can listen to, but nobody is perfect, man. No person that's giving you relationship advice is perfect. They only talking to you through their experiences and what they took the time to research. One thing that we're all trying to do is figure each other out. Okay. Pro women, they met in college. Yeah, they met in college. When Derrick was not famous and broke, maybe he couldn't get baddies back then. Let me tell you something about Derrick Jaxn when he was broke and he was in college. He could get baddies back in then because he was playing football. Derrick Jaxn has always had, access to females. He might not have been like super, duper attractive until after he got out of college or whatever, because he had the money to do so. But for the most part, he has always had access to women because he played football. He played football in college. I'm pretty sure he played football in fucking high school. You know who Derrick Jaxn and his wife remind me of? Have you seen Best Man? Lance and Mia? That's all you seeing. You seeing Lance and Mia. Because I keep trying to explain to everybody, his wife ain't necessarily innocent either. I mean, she done something. He won't say what she do. She was there when he was doing a live stream yesterday. She wouldn't get on camera, but she was definitely in the room talking to him. Them two are Lance and Mia. You remember Lance and Mia from Best Man. Lance was a football player. He played football in college. He knew he was going to go pro. He cheated on Mia so many fucking times, over and over and over and over again. And then Mia ended up sleeping with his best friend, who was the person that introduced them. And to get back at him, she slept with his best friend. And then he didn't find out until like days before their wedding. Yeah, that's them two. To me, that's the closest thing I can think of when I think of Derrick Jaxn and his wife is Lance and Mia. Because Mia was like into God, and same thing with Derrick Jaxn's wife. You know? So to me, it's like they have a history. There's something about the dynamic of their marriage and their friendship that we don't know. They've known each other for years. There's something going on that's keeping them two together. Kevin Samuels states he flaws as everyone else, but what Kevin Samuels states is the truth no matter who he is or what he has done. And they say the truth is the truth no matter who's saying it. Exactly, Trey D. So it's the same thing with Derrick Jaxn. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying Derrick Jaxn might be fucked up. He might be a shit stain, but what he's saying is the truth. The advice doesn't change. That's why to me it's like y'all expecting for this nigga's brand to not be the same. Y'all expecting for women to not respect him anymore. Nah, forget that he cheating on his wife. The advice is still the same. It doesn't matter. That's what I keep trying to explain to everybody who was walking around here saying, "Oh, Soncerae gives bad advice." No, you're saying that because of what happened between me and my son's father. That has nothing to do with the advice I'm giving you. I'm giving you some good shit. I'm giving you the truth. I'm telling you what's up. My shit is not as cookie cut as every other person that's giving relationship advice, and I have some unorthodox ways that I teach y'all shit, but I teach it to you. You know. So I don't know. I just feel like people are being extremely judgmental to Derrick Jaxn, especially men, simply because men was quote unquote because Derrick Jaxn was throwing men under the bus or um, letting women know the secrets of men. See, a lot of men feel like you are a traitor to your gender if you are telling women the secrets that men usually keep with each other. Women are like that with me. When I'm giving men relationship advice and I tell men how women be doing shit, I've had bitches email me and say, Soncerae, you a pick me. Soncerae, you a gender traitor because I'm telling men the shit that women be doing. Because a lot of women don't even realize they manipulate you. When you see these hypergamy gurus and they're talking about dating up and shit like that, I be thinking to myself, So you refuse to date somebody down, refuse to date down, but you want a wealthy man to look at you and consider dating down with you, but you don't want to be the person that does that as well. That doesn't make any sense. You're toxic. You are the embodiment of broke bitch logic. That doesn't make any sense. You're trying to come up. I had one girl come into the comment section of one of my videos and she was like, "Yeah, my aunt was big on that hypergamy shit, man. She lived off of her husband's money and saved her own money for herself. That's exactly what I'm going to do." I was like, "Bitch, you missing the whole point." Okay? Listen, no, 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 no. That's selfish and it's toxic. It's manipulative. What y'all need to be doing is trying to reciprocate what you get. You can't just be sitting here out here just taking, and keeping everything for yourself and not even realizing how toxic that even is. Women are using putting a price tag on their pussy as a defense mechanism because they are so used to being disregarded, broken up with, cheated on, lied to, thrown out, pumped and dumped, all types of stuff. So they think when a man gives them money, that must mean they're valuable, especially if he given half. No. Derrick Jaxn basically gave a woman he known for 10 years that he met off Twitter, gave her money, flew her out, got an Airbnb, treated her well temporarily, and still ended up blocking that bitch like she was nobody. Imagine how much money he spent on this chick. Took her out and everything. Imagine how much money he spent on her, still blocked her ass when it came down to his wife. What you want to get from men is love and respect. And that's one thing that's hard to get from men. Because number one, men bad with their emotions to begin with. When men start catching feelings, when men start catching feelings with women, they withdraw. Because they don't really know what the fuck to do with it. They weren't taught that. So a lot of women, when you see men fade to black or you see them ghost you, a lot of times they do like you. They just get scared. They're scared of commitment. They're scared of losing their freedom. They scared to feel anything because they scared you might hurt them the same way that they done hurt somebody else in their past. So men are not marriage material. They are not relationship material. A lot of times these men need to be taught this first before they can even be with you. And a lot of times it's being in the relationships. When I was talking to my son's father, let me give you a gem from my son's father. My son's father and I got together after he was quote unquote separated from his wife for 2 years. They was together for 14 years. They was married, never had any kids. He cheated on her the first part of their relationship. In their marriage, he cheated on her the entire relationship, and then he cheated on her the first couple of years they were married. And I don't know how long he cheated on her. By the time he met me, she was a side chick to another man. She was estranged and dating other people, and he had dated a whole bunch of other women within the quote unquote 2 years they were separated. All right. So he met me. When he said to me, "I want to be with you for the rest of my life. I want us to just be chill and I want us to settle down and be together. And we're in a relationship and we talking about having grandkids and all, what kind of lifestyle we want to live. We're talking about moving to California, everything that we're talking about doing. Finally, when shit get real and it's no longer in the order of operations, we were talking about doing it because we wanted to get married first. We wanted to build something first and then have children. When it got knocked off course and I got pregnant first, all right, and he started thinking about having to be a husband, having to chill out, having to be a father, doing what he was supposed to do. He realized he wasn't prepared as a man. No one taught him to be a decent husband. He wasn't even a decent husband in the 14 years he was married to somebody else. So he comes to me while I'm sitting here 4 or 5 months pregnant, and he says to me, "I don't know how to be in a relationship." I said, "What the fuck you mean you don't know how to be in a relationship? You was just in a marriage for 14 years. How don't you know how to be in a relationship or marriage?" He's like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know how to be a husband. I don't know how to do any of this." This nigga was just basically winging it. Now, mind you, what he was saying was kind of accurate because he just spent 14 years in the shittiest marriage I've ever seen two people have. They had so many problems, it was ridiculous. As far as I'm concerned, neither one of them knew anything about marriage. It's one thing to be married to somebody and y'all had issues sometimes and then y'all don't have issues, and then blah blah blah. But to be married to somebody for 14 years and that entire situation needs to be thrown out, that's an issue. Okay, so he basically flat out told me he know. So a lot of these men just don't know how to be married. They don't know how to be boyfriends. They don't know how to be fathers. And women get so mad. Women be like, he's fucking shit stain. Nah, a lot of times it's not coming from a malicious place. A lot of times these men just don't know. They don't be knowing. And I can tell you that because of all of the counseling I've done. I'm not just saying this to be saying this. I'm saying this because this is what men are telling me. I'm counseling men. They're saying to me, I don't know how to do this. I don't blah, blah, blah. I feel this way and that way, and I don't know how to say it. What am I supposed to do about this? Because there's no self-help book out there for them. Some of them didn't even have a father figure to teach them that shit. Or they did have a father figure who was also a piece of shit and cheating and wasn't the best husband and father in the world. So they don't know what they're doing. So when these men cheating and lying and shit like that, sometimes they just need to learn it. And it's hard to learn something when you have this one set of characteristics that you already have, that was already programmed into you. Okay? You said actually he doesn't tell the truth. He projects what he thinks of himself onto others. And what would he say to his 40-year-old self who was broke and getting evicted? Are you saying that about Kevin Samuels? You're talking about Kevin Samuels tells the truth. Now, here's my thing. Kevin Samuels might tell the truth as far as relationship advice goes for other people. But when it comes time for him to sit down and do some self-evaluation about what he has experienced in his own life, I don't think he has a clear like view of that stuff. I think a lot of people have that issue. I'm not saying that that's an easy thing to do. It's hard to look in the mirror. It is difficult for a lot of people to look in the mirror and take accountability and responsibility for the mistakes that they made themselves. All right. So Kevin Samuels could look at his own situation, but I don't think he's seeing it. He has clarity. Okay. So he's probably lying to himself and the public about it. All right. He to me, it kind of seems like he lacks a little bit of humility, I want to say, when it comes to who he is as a person. He wants people to value him even though he has his flaws. But if women have flaws that may be similar, then now those women aren't as valuable. That's all I see. Society has taught us not to be emotional. Even women criticize a man by saying he is in his feelings. Let me tell you something that I tried to tell the women in my single moms group. I have a single moms group called um, Black Single Moms We Give You Life. It's on Facebook, right? And this group, I try to tell women, I said, number one, you will never be able to teach your son how to be a man, but you can teach him how to be a person of good character, regardless to his gender. Okay, you can teach him how to be a good person, and you can teach him how to deal with his emotions by discontinue saying shit like, stop crying, be a man, men don't cry, stuff like that, or giving him spankings, or I'll give you something to cry for, or being all super masculine when you're supposed to be feminine, you're supposed to be his mother. Do you know how many women, I was talking about my son, disciplining my son, and I don't hit my son. I never wanted to hit my son to begin with. Me and my son's father agreed to never hit our kids. When we was together, we was like, that's one thing we're not going to do. When we decided to break up and he wanted to, collect pussy, he told me, hey, don't beat our son. So I have been trying to find ways to discipline my son because I didn't want him all over the place willy-nilly. So if I'm not going to hit him, I needed to find out what was it that, he wanted that I could take from him, or that he hated being done to him. You know what I did that I noticed he hate? I put water in a spray bottle. And anytime he do something bad, I spray him with the water. Oh, it works so well. So, because all I got to do is say, stop that. By the time I said stop that 3 times, he gets to that third time, I get that water bottle and I spray him and I say, didn't I tell you to stop? He don't do it for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day. And if I do that every day for like a week, he never does it again. He never does it again. So I don't have to beat him. I just sprayed him with water. Like, if you don't quit, you better stop. Like he'd be yelling, or like he likes to scream. He loves to run. He likes to throw stuff. We had to teach him to stop throwing stuff because he was breaking stuff. Like, disciplining him like a mom is different than disciplining him like a dad. So I had to teach these women how to not be masculine. Like you can't be masculine and match your male son's masculinity because you teach him how to be a man towards a woman. And a lot of women didn't understand that. And I was like, it is my responsibility as a mom to teach my son how to treat women. So if I'm always matching his energy with masculinity and being all violent and shit like that all the time, yelling at him and stuff like that, that's toxic masculinity. That's me teaching him what I believe a man is, not genuinely what a man is. So you got men walking around here with toxic masculinity where they're violent all the time. They're yelling at women, they're abusing women, raping women, calling women out of their name, all types of just shit. And they think that that means that they're being a man. Like they have to pound on their chest to show that that's their territory. I've seen that happen on YouTube so many times. Men want to this space to be for men only. So when women come around and we have an opinion or we have something that we want to say that may be different from theirs, suddenly we're bitches. Suddenly, oh, we wear too much weave and makeup, so we don't know what we're talking about. So all this stuff, oh, you can't teach a man how to be a man. I'm not trying to teach a man how to be a man. I'm trying to teach a man how to have a good character and be able to handle a woman. It's a difference. I can teach you how to deal with a woman. Oh, that's easy. Okay. And I teach my son that every day. So women can start by being good mothers. Number one, just be a good mom. Women are like the agents in the Matrix. Shut up. Oh, that's so funny. I'm the belief, don't care about men's feelings. That is so fucking funny. I never heard a man like refer to women as the agents in the Matrix, but when I think about it, like some women are, like some women really are, especially when it comes to men. I tell women all the time, you doing too much if you gotta look through your man's phone and follow him all over the place, man. You got to do all that. You don't need to be in a relationship with him because he ain't ready. He ain't prepared. I need a man that's prepared. I need a man that wants to be in a relationship that is ready to do, handle the responsibility of being in one. If you got to sneak around and lie to me, you still on some immature shit because two grown people can easily come to one person and be like, listen, I like somebody else. You know what I mean? I need a grown ass man to come to me and be like, listen, you ain't fucking me right. I need you to do something that you're not doing. And if you're not going to do it, I don't think we're going to be able to get through this stuff. Like with me and my son's father, the sex was so bad. And we used to sit down and have conversations about the sex. And one day he was just like, man, I just love being around you. You are my friend. I love the way that you love, you know, but our sex, I was like, I know. I'm like, our sex is so whack. Like, this is terrible. I couldn't understand why. Let me tell you the problem that we had. And I think people know when I would this is about to get graphic for 2 minutes, so if you can't handle it, then you need to click off. It's gonna be only graphic for about 5 minutes. All right, so listen. Whenever I would get on top, he would get soft, right? So if we had foreplay and I started to be on the bottom, he would be so hard, right? He would be so hard, but he couldn't get it in, right? So let me rephrase that. Let me start over. When I was on top, he couldn't last long. It wasn't that he couldn't get hard. He would get his hardest when I was on top of him. So when I would get on top of him and I would start riding him, I swear to God, I could pump maybe like 5 times, shit, 3 times, and he'd come. And I'd be like, would you stop? Because I'm trying to like enjoy this. Like I'd be about to come and then you just, you know what I'm saying? It just ruined the whole situation. And then when I would be on the bottom, he couldn't stay hard. And I couldn't understand, like, why is he struggling with being on the top? And he was just bad. He was just bad at bed. To me, he was just bad in bed. Now, I never had a man complain about how I was in bed. One thing men have always loved about me is how I am in bed. So I never heard a man complain. Doesn't mean a man hasn't complained. They just ain't complained to me. Doesn't mean a man hasn't. Because I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm like the porn star where I'm hanging from ceilings and shit. I mean, it's still men teaching me stuff on my OnlyFans right now. Like men be hitting me up asking me to do stuff on OnlyFans that they seen other girls do, and I'd be like, I don't do that, boo. One guy was like, "Can you make me a twerk video?" I was like, "I'm sorry, baby, I don't know how to twerk. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie, act like that's something I know how to do. I can't twerk for my goddamn life. Please do not ask me to do that. I cannot. I'm sorry." So I think that I'm not one of those women that's like, I look sexy, I'm very sexy, and I'm somebody you make love to. I'm not somebody that you can just like have like this amazing sexual experience with because I'm so good in bed. It's I know how to love a man. I know how to cater to a man and pamper to a man and give him things that he wants. That put it like this. I got hands and a mouth. How about that? Let's just leave it at that. I got okay, and I know how to use them. So I feel like my son's father didn't know how to use his hands and his mouth well. Like he tried to use them, but it didn't work out that well. Okay. He got man weave. Terica, stop. Kevin Samuels got man weave. You lying like, oh yeah, because I seen the old pictures of him. Cause see, here's what I couldn't understand. I see old pictures of Kevin Samuels and his hairline would be receding, and then I seen him and like that picture everybody used where he's sitting down looking at the phone and he had like this head full of hair. And I was like, how does he have a head full of hair as he's older? But in his younger pictures, he got his hairline receding. It did not occur to me till just now when you said he had a man weave. All right. All right. So he's encouraging these men to have an issue with weave and makeup when he himself has a man weave. Okay. Was wondering because I could not figure out why this nigga looks so bad. Now let me explain to you. There's times I look bad as shit. Every person, there's times where they look bad. Like me, if like right now, oh my God. You see how beautiful this picture is? I look good, right? Because I got my hair done, I got my makeup done. Even when I'm not wearing weave, I'm still beautiful when I dress up. Right now, I have on sweats, some dirty sneakers, a loose black top, a orange sweater that I love, and I got an orange head wrap on my head because I'm about to go into the Walmart and the Target and shop. So when I go shop, I don't want to be dressed up because it's hard to walk around. So I look utterly fucking ridiculous. I don't have on any makeup. I don't have on any jewelry. I'm just regular. My hair is not done because I washed my hair. I have big hair. Like I have big curly long hair. So it's in two ponytails. I didn't braid it or anything. And I put a hair wrap on top. So I look utterly ridiculous. So I can understand how Kevin Samuels can look utterly ridiculous when he doesn't have on a suit. When he doesn't have his man weave done. I get it. But here's what I want everybody to understand. Most people are like that. Even these beautiful ass women that you're seeing that's like Latina and Mexican, and you know how y'all like the exoticals. The mixed exoticals. You think the mixed exoticals never have a bad hair day. I'm sorry, bruh. They do. And when we go to the salon, they in there with us. It's girls getting there in there getting infusion. Like you're like, oh, she has all this long, luxurious hair. No, she doesn't. She has infusion, boo. Like you're like, oh, I love her long, flowing, beautiful hair. No, she got weave too. She just doesn't do it the same way. Like a lot of the exoticals that you love so much, you claim they got natural hair. A lot of them they don't wear lace fronts. They might not wear like tracks, like a weave track, but they do infusion. For the fellas out there that may be confused about what infusion is, infusion is when they take strands of hair and they glue it to the root of the hair, the real hair on the head of a woman. So you can stick your fingers through it and shit and not even feel that it's weave. It'll just look like it's real hair and it'll feel like it's real hair. Okay, so women who aren't black wear weave too. They just wear weave in a different way. All right. And the wealthy black women who love their hair straightened, a lot of them have infusion as well. Okay, so there are different types of ways that women of all colors weave their hair. All right. So I just wanted to make that a point so men could know. But anyway, so a lot of us are human beings. A lot of us are beautiful. A lot of us are not beautiful when we we take that our clothes off. You got some people who not when they don't wear makeup, they don't look good, you know? But my thing is, as a human being, we have to accept everyone else as a fucking human being. And a lot of times we want to look at the people that we classify as perfect and think that they don't can't do no wrong, not ever. When these people are human. Just because they got more money than you don't mean we not human. Just because we got more popularity than you doesn't mean we not human. We just more people know us and we got financial literacy. We got good personalities. A lot of time what I notice about people who have a lot of people that follow them, they're very outgoing. Like I was a social butterfly. I went into every party, every house party, every cookout. My ass was there. Everything that everybody wanted to do, I made sure my ass showed up. That's all you have to do to be popular. That's really it. Saying it's hard after time. Like after time, it's hard to maintain because you got so many. Like once you know so many people, it's hard to go to everything. You just go to the most popular thing. And then after a while, once you get to another tax bracket, you start getting around a different set of people and the cost of admission is higher. So a lot of people that you used to hang out with, you can't even really hang out with no more because they can't even afford to go where you going. Because a lot of times where you going, you gotta go on a trip. Like remember when Puffy used to do parties in San Tropez all the time? The average person is not gonna go to San Tropez on a yacht. You know what I'm saying? To go to a party because the admission to get onto Diddy's goddamn San Tropez yacht is high as fuck, right? So you're dealing with another set of people. So a lot of times people think those the other elite a group of people they aren't human. Yeah, we are. We just we just have enough money to get to that other stuff. And the reason why we got enough money to get to that other stuff is because we spent so much time being sociable and networking with just about everybody. That's all we did. Like if you stand outside, let's say you stand outside Walmart. I'm in Walmart right now. You stand outside of Walmart and you just stand there. You say hello to everybody. You just start sparking up conversations with everybody that walks in Walmart. Eventually, once you've been doing that for years, people who always go to Walmart, they're always going to expect you to be there. Just like, oh hey, and they're just a popular person because they've been standing in front of that goddamn Walmart. That's how you become popular. It is not hard. Now you can't be mean. You got to be pleasant. You got to be funny. But after you figured out how to be funny, how to be open, how to be comfortable in yourself, and how to be unique, you start attracting people. It don't take that much goddamn skill, y'all. Trust me. Trust me. Who gets soft from riding? Alicia. He didn't get soft from riding. He would just come. He wouldn't, it would just be like, I'm telling you, I would pump maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. Cause he was already so horny by the time we ended up having sex. Because just be like, you ever been around somebody where you just turned on by them just off break? Like one time we was in the bed, right? When we supposed to be going to sleep, we chilling, and his leg rubbed up against me, right? And my back was turned to him. He was like, "You ain't got no panties on?" I was like, "Nigga, no." Do you do you know? He was just hard off of the fact, just knowing I was laying next to him that whole time and I ain't having no panties. And he went to business on my ass. So sometimes it's like with him, he was just so attracted to me that instantly he had a hard on. It's not like I had to work to get it. He just had it. And so by the time we would start having sex, he would be so ready to bust. It'd just be like, he just do it. And I would say to him, are you doing this on purpose because you don't want the sex to last as long because it's uncomfortable? He was like, nah. I'm like, you can tell me, tell me what it is that you need to help you last longer. And he was like, just don't go so fast. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pump slow. So I get on top of him because I bounce that thing. Listen, these thighs and this butt, I will bounce it on. Anyway, so he was like, slow down. You have to slow down because that's what's making me, come so fast. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna bounce. I'm gonna grind. Even when I would grind him, I'll be like, man, this sex, man, why are you coming so fast? He was like, I'm so sorry. So we had that issue. Ari, same thing. I throw my wig off every day after work. I know, right? I don't even wear my wig often. I think the only time I wear my wig is if I'm doing a video, right? And if I'm going somewhere other than like just an average place, like I'm going to Walmart right now. Like my hair is in two cornrows usually. Like two, not cornrows, but like flat twists on my head. And I always said that once I got over 40, that I was always gonna wear my hair like that forever. I've been saying that since I was like young, that when I got older, I knew I was gonna always wear my hair in two flat twists everywhere I went. And that's what I do. So even with me right now, my hair isn't in the flat twists, it's in the two buns on the side of my head. I have a hair wrap over my head. I don't like not having something on my head. Period. Even if when I have my two flat twists, I don't like the wind just blowing all in my scalp. Like I just don't like it. I mean, I have all of this hair on my head and I don't like my hair all over the place. That's the reason why I'm putting it in the two flat twists. But it's just like it'll get dry easily, it get tangled easily. And it's healthier in the flat twist. Right, Alicia. It's a man weave. It's a man weave. Like go look at his pictures. Now it makes sense. Because before I was like, his hair looks so nice on this picture right here. I'm like, this shit look all right. I like it. And then other pictures, you see him, he too skinny and his hairline is receding and he just looks dingy. He's still wearing a suit, but he looks a little dingy. And they're older pictures of him because you would think if you show older pictures of him when he was younger, he would look nicer because he's younger. But now that he's older, I don't know. When he was younger, he looked like he just shined shoes. Like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do with my life. I'm just gonna put on a suit and shine other people's shoes. That's what he looked like when I think of him. I think of a motherfucking shoemaker or shining shoes. But now it's just like when you compare the two pictures and he looks better now, it's like, oh, he must have on a toupee. Well, man, if she'd have never said this man was wearing a man weave, I would have never realized this. Never. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe when no, because he wasn't bald. You said he's survived cancer. Okay, so but he wasn't bald in those pictures. But maybe that's why he was skinny. Because I kept saying, why is he so skinny in these pictures? I mean, because he's just slim in general, right? He just a slim guy. And I was like, dude, why is he so skinny in this picture? And you know what I mean? So maybe that was it. Maybe some of those pictures he has cancer in. I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. But this whole man weave stuff, I'd have never known. I'd have never known. Because I mean, if he doesn't have cancer now, so the newer pictures with him with the man weave has nothing to do with him having cancer when he was young. But thank you for telling me that. Like, I can applaud him for that. I like anybody who can survive something of that magnitude because cancer is not no joke. My friend Robert Carpenter, who's a pastor, he just survived cancer. He was going through chemotherapy for a long time. And honestly, when he was going through chemotherapy, I would have never guessed in a million years that that's what was happening to him because he always held his head up. Like he never acted like he had it. My friend Harry is the same way. He is an artist. When he had cancer, you could not tell him that he wasn't going to get over it. Like he had already made up in his mind that he was going to survive cancer. And he did. My Aunt Sterling the same way. When my Aunt Sterling got cancer, I sent her this book by Louise Hay. And her husband calls it the cancer book, but I hate that he calls it that. But the book it's called All Is Well. And it's about you using your mind to help you heal because everything is a mental thing, is mind over matter. So yeah. Fragments of memory. We are both shining flaws. That's right. Look, he's had a hooligan, acting a fool again. yo, people got jokes about Kevin Samuels. That should be so funny. And it be wholehearted shit too. Like, I don't like making fun of people's like personal life. Like if somebody was making jokes about him having cancer, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't think that shit was funny. But when they have real wholesome shit, like they be calling him Kitten Heels, to this day, I do not understand why they keep calling this nigga Kitten Heels, but I guess it got something to do with them nice shoes he be wearing. We call him Kitten Heels. And then this one girl called this nigga Mr. Root and Tootie Fresh and Fruity. I could not stop laughing about that shit when she said that shit. So when I see people had jokes about this nigga, it be so funny. That hairheaded hooligan joke is fucking hilarious. Because I remember Tommy used to call women that shit all the time because they wore weave. All the fucking time. So to call Kevin Samuels that shit is so fucking funny. Anyway, I don't want people to think I don't like him because I don't know him personally. So I can't say I don't like Kevin Samuels as a person. He hasn't done any undermining shit. Like a lot of times, like YouTube content creators have done undermining shit or lie about people or be like extremely hurtful. I think he disrespects the fuck out of women that call in, but I honestly don't know if I could say he has that same nasty demeanor that a lot of men in the black manosphere have or that Tommy had. Like Kevin doesn't come off as that to me. Like I don't know if I can explain this. If you've been watching YouTube for a long time, like if you've been on in the black sector of YouTube for an extended amount of time and you have listened to male content creators, one thing a lot of them have in common is that they have this like evil like thing that they do where they are extremely manipulative and deceptive and they hit below the belt so much to other content creators because they want to one up someone else on YouTube. I haven't seen Kevin do that. Doesn't mean he hasn't. It's just I haven't seen him because I haven't been paying attention to him. It would be difficult for Kevin to pull off a man weave and wear his hair as short as he does. He may have a hair transplant. No, that's not true. Now, have you seen how the man weaves are done? They use no. Go onto YouTube and look at how the man weaves are done. All of the man weaves, they usually wear them short like that. Not every man weave is when they're wearing it long. The way that they usually glue the shit on, you can still wear your hair that low. Like he would still have to have natural hair on his head. Like remember I said his hairline was receding. So if he was bald at the top and still had hair on the sides, he could have an effective look man weave. So no, you gotta go see, go look at, go do your research because I'm telling you, the lift don't matter. The lift doesn't matter. Um, Kid Heels because of his 300 pair boot collection. Oh, he does holes. Okay. 300 pair boot collection. All right.